Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to our F1 Launcher Career Mod. I am kind of sorry that I've not made like a video in 2 weeks. I just could not be bothered last week, to be fair. So yeah. Anyways, we're all back on F1 2019, and I did actually record this video like 2 weeks earlier than when I'm uploading it. But to be fair, it isn't my fault because I was just could not be bothered. Anyways, I couldn't really bring any upgrades, and there isn't really much the team has done this weekend as they haven't really brought anything. I can't really afford any upgrades, anyways. Yeah, we do have a powertrain upgrade, which will come next round in Monaco, and look at the R&D chart, we have not really made any progress, and Toro Rosso just gapped us even further as well as Renault, so that is really not going to help us. Anyways, Red Bull now at the second quickest score, so which is pretty interesting. Components-wise, we don't really have any problems. Some of the components are starting to go up with 60% wear, but it should last at least after Spain and Monaco, and then we'll probably replace them. And Gearbox doesn't seem too bad at the moment. And yeah, there isn't really much I need to say. Anyways, championship standings, Hamilton does still lead the championship, and we sit I think we stay in like P18 or something, I'm not too sure. And Raikkonen currently sits in P12. So yeah, we're P18. We're not really having a good season, to be fair. Last race was absolutely dismal for us as we only finished P17. Raikkonen had it even worse as he started in Q3. But yeah, we're gonna head to qualifying and see what happens.
About to kick off any moment here at the Circuit Barcelona Catalunya. No doubt that today will be full of action on the track.
Well, to be fair, there should be a lot of on-track action as we're going to be starting our lap in Q1, and to be fair, I'm hoping that we actually can do well, because last time out in the 2018 Spanish Grand Prix, we were able to finish P7, which was a very good result for the team, after we drove brilliantly and making it to Q3 for like the second time in our career at the time. Anyways, I'm not too sure if I'll be able to do that again, because on F1 2019 the handling feels a lot kind of worse than F1 2018, to be fair. So I'm not looking forward to it, to be fair. I mean, this game doesn't like have the worst handling, to be fair. I just find it a bit like sluggish, to be fair, and like a bit hard to drive. I was like, okay, that is not what I want to do. I was like, go on the grass a bit, and yeah, we completely butchered that lap there. So this probably isn't gonna be a good lap, and we're probably going to have to do another lap to try and get into Q2, as we're 3 seconds off Leclerc's time due to that mistake. So yeah, we'll probably have to do another lap. But yeah, that lap would only put us P19. Kubica did an absolute stinky lap, and I have no idea why, and Rakkonen's only P14. There isn't really any major surprises, to be fair. So yeah, we're going to head out on the track and see if we can get into Q2, hopefully. Now, I was a little bit concerned because Carlos Sainz, or whoever that was in the McLaren behind me, was actually right close to me, and I didn't want to hold him up, and I did get a little bit of switching on Kvyat, but we didn't really do the first corner that well, as we went a little bit wider than I expected. Eventually was able to hook it up here, but for some reason I went onto the grass and eventually just ruined the sector one, because I went very wide and ended up like losing a lot of time. For the second corner, I thought I did like this corner better, but I went a little bit. Unfortunately, I'm going to go onto the grass, and oh no, I'm going to be sent round. Oh, okay, well that's completely screwed our chances of getting into Q2. Oh, well, this is awesome. So, oh, we almost hit Hamilton there, so we're probably going to be eliminated. I mean, Raikkonen is able to make it through, so that's good. And it's Stroll, Kvyat, Russell, ourselves, and Kubica, who are out in Q1. Oh, man, that's so frustrating after we had a terrible weekend last time. Oh, well, we're probably going to have to make up for it in the race, I suppose. So, yeah, let's go to the race, I guess.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Albon, Perez, Sainz, Norris and Pierre Gasly, Hulkenberg, Grosjean, Kevin Magnussen and Raikkonen, Stroll, Kvyat, George Russell and Lucky, Ricciardo. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
We were expecting you to finish 60.
Well, Jeff, my bad for interrupting you anyway, so I was just checking the strategy. So everyone's going to be starting on a medium. Yeah, we do have to finish 16 for higher. That's what the team wants. And yeah, everyone's going to be doing a one-stop. So, yeah, let's just see what happens. So now it's time for the Spanish GP. All the drivers are getting ready, waiting for the 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go for the Spanish GP. We do not really have a good getaway to be fair, as Ricardo seems to have a better one than us, and Kubica even wants to get past us. So yeah, we're eventually going to transcend on a couple of drivers on at turn 1, and we're going to try and overtake Russell, and oh, we're going to go into the curve a bit, and we're going to try and squeeze Russell out, so maybe he doesn't, like, get past us. And there we go, we're up to P17 now. Oh, sorry, I had a little bit of a cough. Oh, it looks like Kvyat and Raikkonen are really fighting here. Maybe we could try and make a move. I'm going to transcend for the ball overtake, but I'm braking a little bit too late, and we're going right into the back of Stroll. We did push Raikkonen a little bit wide as he gets overtaken by Russell. Now Kvyat and Stroll are going side by side as Stroll's trying to get past Kvyat again as we go a little bit on the grass there. As Stroll, however, might not have a good exit, and we could maybe get him through this corner. I don't know why I paused the menu here. And we go on the grass again. Stroll, however, gets pushed a little bit wide. We're going to try and go around him, but he's going to tap us. He doesn't give us much room. So I'm going to try and go around the outside, even though I just full-on shunt into his car. We still somehow do not have damage. I'm surprised we have not gotten any damage from those two collisions. But we are going to send it down the side of Stroll here at the hairpin as he locks up. And yeah, we're up to P15. We have made a 3 positions at the start. That is pretty good, to be fair. Well, yeah, let's just see what we can do, as it seems like one of the Ferraris has taken the lead from Bottas, I think. Yep, I think a Ferrari has actually taken the lead from Bottas to start on pole, as yeah, it looks like the midfield is really squabbling today, as the Toro Rossos are really fighting ahead. Yeah. Hopefully we can try and gap Russell, as I think, yeah, we've gapped him by 1 second, so Stroll's probably going to try and get past him, as I can see in this is Stroll trying to get past Russell. And it does seem like that the Hasses and the Toro Rossos are fighting, as Grosjean is going to overtake Kvyat now, or he gets overtaken, I mean, as yep, they're really fighting ahead. We've managed to gap the cars behind because the battling as Stroll is gone away from the train, as there's a bit of a train towards the back with Russell, Kvyat, Ricardo, and Raikkonen. So yeah, we need to try and, I'm going to try and stick with these two guys, because if I don't, then Stroll could actually get me. As, yeah, we're almost out of DRS, but we are pretty quick for the first sector, so we should be able to get them perfectly fine here, as it does seem like that the top two have broken away, and it's, I think, Leclerc and Bottas who have broken away, and then it's Hamilton in P3. The midfield is practically still pretty close, to be fair. It seems like that Kvyat and Grosjean have dropped out because they've actually, dropped back because they're actually both fighting, which is holding me up and Stroll up here. Raikkonen in the meantime is, I think, trying to overtake Russell, but he's really struggling to due to Russell actually defending. So yeah, we're eventually going to go for the curve. The curves at that corner can be pretty deadly, as you can easily spin and crash and do mistakes. So yeah, that's why it's a bit risky, to be fair. But it does seem like that the midfield is starting to kind of spread out. As I looked on the minimap, I think one of the Ferraris actually had damage. Yeah, one of the Ferraris actually had damage, and that was because I think, I don't think it was Leclerc with Bottas, I think it was Vettel actually. Vettel was actually, I think like P2, and he got wing damage from us, so he's actually holding everyone up here. Well, I mean, not everyone, just the Red Bull says, yeah, it does seem like that we're all starting to close in on Grosjean and Kvyat. They're really not fighting, to be fair, and oh, I thought I was going to do a mistake there. Stroll has actually lost the DRS to us, so we now have 1 less car behind us. Even though at this section I'm pretty awful because I keep going wide, to be fair. I really want to get past these two, because if they like keep DRS training with each other, this could actually hold me up if they keep fighting, which really would have been good for me, because I'm trying to, because P11 and P10 are not that far ahead, as Hulkenberg I think is currently P10, he's only a couple of seconds ahead. So we're going to have DRS again and heading into lap 6. Yeah, it does seem like the Gasly and Magnussen are actually fighting in front of these two.
You're in P15, Grosjean ahead, less than a second separate you. They're on old mediums. Stroll is behind you. The gap behind us is 1.6 seconds. They're on old mediums. Your pit window opens in 8 laps time, 28 laps to go.
So yeah, it does seem like the Stroll's lost the DRS behind us. Grosjean, I think, is actually almost losing the 1 second gap, because Kvyat's closing in on Magnussen and Gasly because they're both fighting ahead. So if Grosjean loses DRS, we could eventually get past him, which would really help us, to be fair, and we could actually make another position up. As yeah, it does seem like that the two Mercedes are practically broken away due to one of the Ferraris having damage. And yeah, there are a couple of battles on track at the moment. There's some at the back, some in the midfield, some at the front even. So yeah, hopefully we can try and get past Grosjean sooner, because this would really help us, like I said earlier. Well, the Grosjean has actually lost the DRS, and this gives us a pretty good advantage on lap 7. We are closing in on him, and we're going to try and overtake Grosjean into turn 1. He's going to try and defend the inside. We're going to go around the outside, and we're going to brake late and try and get him over. There's a little bit of contact, my bad. And yep, we've gone past Grosjean, so now we're up to P14, and the 3 guys ahead are actually fighting, so this could really help us, to be fair.
Kvyat is ahead of you. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 6 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 24.9. You're gaining by 1/10 a lap.
But yeah, it does seem like that we're all closing on Kvyat and Gasly ahead. Magnussen's starting to break away though a little bit, even though he's in a quicker car. I mean, yeah, Toro Rosso does have a pretty bad car in this game too, and it's not really like real life, because in real life they actually were better than Haas, which confuses me a little bit. But yeah, hopefully we can try and gap Grosjean so we can actually get away from him, and eventually, yep, we are within the DRS of these two. If Kvyat and Gasly stop battling him, maybe we could get past them. And yeah, eventually after a couple of boring laps, on lap 11, they finally actually tried to battle each other, as it does seem like that Kvyat is going to have the DRS, as Gasly's actually lost the DRS to Magnussen ahead, and yep, I can see Kvyat just weaving around, but I don't think he's going to be able to make a move here. However, this does kind of slow them down a little bit, so maybe I could have closed in if I kind of, I kind of had a little bit of a snap there. Oh, well, this race has been kind of boring so far, to be fair. There's not really been anything happening. I mean, on the minimap, I can see that Vettel is actually holding up Perez now because of the wing damage. That's really not going to help him, to be fair. And yeah, I'm trying to get past both Toro Rossos, because if I get on Magnussen, then I could start pushing to try and get Hulkenberg, because Hulkenberg's only about 2 to 3 seconds ahead. So, yeah. And if the Ferrari keeps holding the midfield drivers up, then I could close in on them eventually. So I really need the track position right now, but I'm really struggling to get past them. I just do not have the pace whatsoever. I'm like, whenever there's a DRS zone, I'm just not close enough, which is really not helping me, to be fair. Oh, well, this is going to be awesome. We're almost going to lose the DRS here, as we're almost 8-9 tenths away. And from this point onwards, I was starting to think to do an undercut maybe on one of these guys, because if I pit, it would be very likely that one of these guys could actually pit. Like on the same lap. I don't want to pit too early, because then the tires will be dead at the end, and I don't want to get a puncture, because I don't like, yeah, my tire is pretty dismal, to be fair, on these F1 games. So yeah, we're gonna have the DRS. Kvyat's actually lost a little bit of time, but I don't think that's really gonna help me, to be fair, as he has the DRS from Gasly in front, and I don't know if they're gonna be going side by side. Kvyat, no, I don't think Kvyat was actually close enough. So yeah, as Jeff said, we're in the pit window now, so we are planning to box, to be fair. And yeah, there isn't really much happening, to be fair. I really want the Toro Rossos to be battling more, because this could really help me, to be fair, and I could get past them. But they just did not want to battle us. Oh yeah, I'll just wait on the grass a little bit. And maybe me going on the grass was not good. Yes, we have a little bit a massive snap here, and this is bad because we've now lost the DRS to both Toro Rossos ahead, and Grosjean is right close to me. He might try to overtake me, as he is getting closer, but I don't think he's going to be able to make a move. Oh dear me, that is not what I want to happen. The tires are really feeling dead right now. So yeah, that is really not going to help, to be fair. Hopefully I can like try and close in on these guys, because I'm kind of quick through some of these corners in the final sector. But I don't know, as it does seem like that Magnussen actually caught up to Hulkenberg. So I don't know if Hulkenberg is also struggling, because he's in P10. He was 2 to 3 seconds ahead, but now Magnussen's just in his DRS zone. So yeah, I don't know what that's about. He could have damage also, who knows. As yeah, eventually we do not get a DRS, which is pretty bad. And Grosjean is right behind us. As Jeff says, we have to actually box his lap. But I don't think Grosjean's going to be really close, as I don't know why I'm pausing the menu, man. It's probably just my controller disconnecting as usual. Oh well, so yeah, Grosjean's not going to be close now, but we have lost the DRS. However, it doesn't seem like that both Toro Rossos are going side by side. Well, they were for a second, but that isn't really going to help, to be fair. So yeah, I decided eventually to box on in this lap, because my tires were actually feeling pretty dead. Okay, so now we're in the pits. It doesn't matter that Gasly stay now, Stroll stay now. Like, quite a couple drivers in the midfield are pitting, and yeah, hopefully we can get a good stop, as here we are in the pit crew. The team is going to put the hard tires on, and 2.2, that is a pretty good pit stop. Alright, this should help us a bit. So we are going to be rejoining P7, P18, I mean, as a couple of drivers had to stay out for one more lap, because they had to... Yeah, because their teammates were boxing, so of course they had to pit. So yeah, now we're P18, we have clean air. I think we lost a little bit of time to Gasly ahead, unfortunately. As yeah, the gap was like 1.5 seconds, now it's over 2. So yeah.
Gasly is ahead of you. Gap to car in front is 2.0 seconds. They're on fresh hards. Ricardo behind. Okay, the gap behind is 6.5 seconds. They're on fresh hards. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 19 laps to go.
So yeah, now eventually we're gonna just push now, as yep, everyone else is gonna be coming into the pits now, and we unfortunately could not undercut anybody. Kvyat still remains ahead of us, but I think that's a Ferrari of Vettel who, yeah, you have to change, yeah, Vettel had to change his wing, that's why, as I hope he's going side by side with Gasly, and there's actually a little bit of debris on the track. That didn't look like Ferrari debris. I think that might be someone else's debris. I couldn't tell really who it was, but I think it was like a white front wing. I know it wasn't mine or Kimi's, because Kimi doesn't seem to be struggling, to be fair, and I think it might be more of the racing boys, because that front wing looked a little bit pink, so it could be one of the racing boys, I'm not sure. So yeah, eventually Vettel has started to gap away from Gasly now, because he of course is in a Ferrari, whilst Gasly is in a pit Toro Rosso, but yeah, eventually we have closed in on them, as holy, the tires have not really heated up yet. We do have a gap up from Grosjean now, because Grosjean had, I think, a terrible start. And yeah, I think Jeff said all the components had a bit of wear, so I have to actually be careful now. So yeah, eventually Gasly is holding up Kvyat here, so maybe if they start battling again, then I could actually get them. So yeah, but look at the minimap, I think that was what the racing was. I think Perez, ended up getting wing damage, and I looked at a replay, and I think it was because Carlos Sainz, or when Walter McLaren was rejoined, Perez had undercut them as holy, that curve is actually pretty scary. Yeah, as I was saying, I think Walter McLaren ended up hitting Perez, so Perez now has wing damage, which is causing him to be really slow, as Gasly is going to get overtaken here by Kvyat. We're not making close enough, unfortunately, to get them, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But nothing really happened. I just had to stick with both Toro Rossos. Grosjean was starting to fall back, and he was actually losing time to Stroll and Raikkonen. I mean, to be fair, Raikkonen was fine with Stroll, so he wasn't really losing that much time. And yeah, to be fair, nothing really happened. Eventually, we were just sticking here with Gasly, hopefully trying to get past one of the Toro Rossos. And to be fair, we're already struggling to do that, because I'm not even getting that much close, to be fair. But Perez, as you can see, is actually getting a lot closer now. I can just see him in the distance over there. His wing damage is really not helping him, to be fair, because it's causing him to lose a lot of time. And he's probably, and I don't know why he's not pit yet, because he could have pitted and yeah, he could have just pit and eventually just fixed the wing and eventually just came back out on the track. But I guess he just didn't want to get out of the points, I guess. So yeah, eventually you can see that Hülkenberg is now going to overtake Perez. So yeah, Perez is now just going to be directly in front of both of these Toro Rossos here. Oh my days, the menu thing, bro. Yeah, man, I really need to get a different controller, to be fair.
You're in 14th position. Gasly is ahead of you. The gap is less than a second. They're on fresh hards. Grosjean behind. The gap to the car behind is 2.8 seconds. They're on fresh hards. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 15 laps still remaining.
So yeah, it seems like I mean, Grosjean, I don't think he's really going to be a threat, because he's really struggling to stay close. Yep, we gapped him out over 6/10 in the first sector, because we're sticking with these guys with the DRS. Also, he has literally no DRS. But Perez is going to be holding up Kvyat here a bit, and hopefully it doesn't cause too much chaos. As yeah, Kvyat really wants to get past Perez here, but oh dear me, this might get a little bit bad. Just saying, but like, yeah, eventually we're gonna have the DRS. Kvyat is gonna go triangle on the outside of Perez, and now he's gone past Perez. Perez is now gonna hold up Gasly, and maybe I could try and make a move on Gasly if I can, as yeah, Perez is really struggling here, as he can literally barely turn. As you can see, he's very slow through the corners. So yeah, I'm gonna try and stick here with these two, even though they're kind of holding me up here. Grosjean could actually close in here a bit, but like, yeah. We're gonna have DRS as holy, the curves are actually bouncy, man, oh my god. So yeah, eventually we're gonna have the DRS here, and hopefully we can try and make an overtake on both of these guys, as Gasly's gonna try and make a move on Perez, and we are closing, I think, on both of them, as we're gonna try and go around the outside. I think there's a gap there. Can we get a double overtake, as I'm gonna send them brake very late, as there's contact with me and Perez, and oh, Perez pushes me a bit wide, to be fair, and I think I got through, but I thought I got through until Perez ends up tagging me, and I end up almost spinning. Okay, well, that is not very nice. So yeah, Perez has now gotten past us again, but I made his wing damage worse because I hit him. So yeah, yep, he's really slow. Oh, he's really holding me up, as Perez can't turn the car. He's gonna be going off the track now, and yep, he's gone. Okay, well, I have no idea what even happened there. So yeah, Perez's race is practically now ruined, and Kvyat's now gapped us by a huge margin. I was like so confused. So yeah, Kvyat's now gapped So basically now I don't think we're going to be able to catch up to him now, unless we can, as Gasly is right behind us still. He really wants to get past us, but I'm not really too sure what am I meant to do. Grosjean's now closed in back on us again, so that's not going to help. And yeah, Kvyat's now almost 3 seconds ahead, so I might have to push maybe to try and catch up to him, but I don't really want to like over push because then I'll probably just do the tires and they'll probably get puncture. So yeah, now we just gotta maybe defend from Gasly, because Gasly does seems a bit quick to be fair. Now Toro Rosso, even though Toro Rosso is like the second worst car, or the third worst car I mean, as yet, we're gonna just take the corner here, and Gasly is gonna have the DRS. We do not have anything to save us, as Gasly's right behind us, but he's closing in, oh, why is he, wait, is he slowing down? I think Gasly's slowing down. Yeah, Gasly's slowing down. I think he has a mechanical issue, you know. He's retiring. Oh, okay. That is rather weird. Yep, Gasly's out of the session. He's had an engine issue. Well, that's not going to help him. He actually held up Grosjean, so now we have a gap to Grosjean now. So, yeah. Hopefully we can try and push and catch up to Kvyat.
P12. We have P12.
Now, to be fair, I was actually decently quick. I was actually saying new personal best laps. Practically almost like every 2 laps. As you can see, the gap to Kvyat was slowly coming down. It was 3 seconds, now it's 2.8. Grosjean is actually struggling because it seems like that Raikkonen and Stroll and Ricciardo are all closing in on him. So yeah, we're probably not going to be on the threat from Grosjean by any time soon. And anyways, look at the lead of the race. Perez has actually unfortunately been lapped since he has to make a pit stop for fresh tyres. And yep, I have no idea what I'm doing there, but that's not a very good racing line. Yeah, so... yeah, it does seem like that Bottas is still leading ahead of Hamilton and Leclerc, and then it's both Red Bulls. Sainz is currently P6 at his home GP, so that's a great job from him, as Vettel is closing in on him though, so I don't think he's going to be able to have the P6 for longer. Well, so yeah, I was hoping I could close on Kvyat. I don't think I was going to be able to get Hulkenberg though, because Hulkenberg was now almost 6 seconds ahead. And to be fair, I don't think I would be able to push fast enough to like get to him, so yeah. So yeah, it does not the turbocharger starting to get really worn out, but we're now only 2 seconds off Kvyat as I pause the menu again for like the 4th time this video. I don't think I should include a pause, which I cut the pause the menu, but that's really hard to do. Raikkonen is actually overtaking Grosjean. I think both of them are battling behind me, so this could actually give me a bigger gap. So in case I have like some sort of spin or anything, I won't lose that much time anyway. So yeah, the turbocharger, as I said, was actually getting pretty worn, and yeah.
We have P12. Kvyat is ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 2.1 seconds. They're on old hards. Grosjean is behind you. Our gap behind is 4.0 seconds. They're on old hards. The distance to the leader is 55.7 seconds. Your pit window is open. Pit window is open. 6 laps to go.
Okay, so we've only 6 laps to go. I can see Kvyat in the distance. I don't know if he's struggling or I'm just pushing really hard, to be fair. Hopefully I could actually get close to him, which is really what I want to do, to be fair. And I was actually close, and with me closing in, this could actually be really useful, to be fair. We could get P11, actually, which would be one better than P12, to be fair. Yeah, Grosjean is actually fighting Raikkonen behind, so this is actually helping me, to be fair. Now, unfortunately, however, whilst I was on a really good lap, and I was only, like, 1.5 seconds behind him, yeah? So, 1.5 second behind the Kvyat. Unfortunately, however, I decided to, for some reason, go over the... well, I kinda... yeah, I just kinda turned in too much and lost a lot of time. So, yeah, now I was... instead of being 1 second behind the Kvyat now I lost a lot of time, and this really did not help me, to be fair. The tires were practically dead now, so... I wasn't gonna complain, to be fair, as yeah, the water tires are 62%, so yeah, I was probably just gonna limp it home now. Oh man, we could have caught up to Kvyat, but we lost over a second because of that. I decided I would probably just start saving the tires at this point, because I don't think there's anything I can do. And yeah, heading on to the final lap, it does seem like that Bottas is gonna take the win, and he's gonna take his first win of the season, I think. Yeah, his first win of the season. After he's had a pretty awful start to the season with 2 DNFs or something, he's gonna end up winning the GP, as Valtteri Bottas will win the Spanish GP, and Hamilton will come home in second. Leclerc will finish in third. He actually caught up to Hamilton towards the end, and then it will be just both Red Bulls and Vettel, so that'll be the top 6. To be fair, this race wasn't really that interesting. It was only those two chaotic laps on lap 19 and on lap 20 and 21. Or I mean 19 and 20, whatever you want to, however you see it. So yeah, we're gonna try and just make it to the flag, as yeah, unfortunately, oh man, I'm so frustrated that I didn't catch up to Kvyat because that stupid mistake really cost me, to be fair. Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. We were able to finish the race, and yeah, considering last 2 races we had a pretty dismal race, doing this from, starting from the back of the Great Division V12, this is an alright result, I guess. So yeah, we're gonna eventually round up the final couple of corners, and Magnussen and Hulkenberg are round up the points, just behind both McLarens, and yeah, just rounding off this final chicane turn, or whatever this is, as yeah, we're gonna round off the final corner, and we're gonna take P12 here at the Spanish GP. Well, I can't really complain.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. Race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory for Mercedes. Result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ants. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
I have to give it to Lucky. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern-day Formula One.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today, as they make their way up the standings. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
Well, we ended up getting driver of the day, so that's pretty good, I guess. Well, Valtteri Bottas is going to take the win just ahead of his teammate. Leclerc will take the podium position, or final podium position, as head of Albon, who gets a good result ahead of Verstappen and Vettel, who unfortunately the wing damage did not really help him. Just ahead of both McLarens, Magnussen and Nico Hulkenberg rounds off the points. So, yeah, Kvyat misses out. We finished in P12 after starting P18, so that's a decent recovery. Just ahead of Raikkonen, Grosjean, Ricciardo, Stroll, Russell, Kubica, and Perez, who had a disaster class by doing 3 pit stops, and Gasly, who failed to finish. Standings-wise, Hamilton does now extend his lead over Leclerc now because, yeah, Leclerc didn't really get a good result. Bottas is now up to P3, Albon jumps everyone up to P6. Norris jumps Raikkonen, and there isn't really much change at the back. Constructors, Mercedes retake the lead of the Constructors, McLaren get ahead of Racing Point, and Haas get ahead of Renault now. We're still staying in PA with 13 points, and Williams are still yet to score, and Toro Rosso yet to get into double digits, so yeah. I'm probably going to end the video here now, so I'll see you guys. Take care.